Welcome to part 2 of our Blacksmithing Guide, the Advanced Tutorial. First order of business is credit where credit is due. Many of the concepts I discussed in this video I first came across in Myron's Blacksmithing Guide posted on Tamriel Foundry. If you ever need video game advice, you could definitely do worse than taking that advice from a guy who still uses his old school EverQuest avatar. One final note, if you are unfamiliar with blacksmithing in Elder Scrolls Online, you can find a link to part 1 of this video, a basic overview in the bottom right corner. Now that we know how blacksmithing works, it makes sense that we're going to want to level it in the most cost-effective and efficient way possible. When crafting an item, the experience gained is based on the item level, not necessarily the item's size. So as we take a look here, a level 1 iron dagger takes 2 iron ingots to create. And we also know that by stacking iron ingots, we can get this all the way up to level 14 for a final cost of 8 iron ingots. Now let's take a look at a greatsword. The greatsword has a base cost of 5 iron ingots, and again, all the way through the process up to level 14 with a base cost of 11. But both items are still level 14, which means it's far more efficient to create iron daggers or iron belts than it is great swords or chest armor. So now that we know what to make, the question then becomes at what level to make it. Continuing along with daggers, we have a plain Jane level 1 dagger lined up here. If you take a look in the top left corner, you will see my blacksmithing skill is currently at 490. So now I'm going to create this dagger, and bam, my skill is now 538. I gained 48 points. The dagger cost me 2 iron bars, so that's experience points of 24 points per bar expended. Alright, time to see if we can improve on that. So we've lined up a level 6 iron dagger. Now this is going to cost us 4 bars. When I create the level 6 dagger, my skill goes from 538 all the way past the level cap of 640 and 25 points into the next level for a total experience point gain of 127 points. 127 points, 4 bars. Some simple math tells us that that is 31.75 experience points per bar expended. At this point, I went on to create level 10 and level 14 items, neither of which was efficient as level 6 due to diminishing returns. Regrettably, repeated server stress test crashes rendered those videos pointless, but I was able to confirm that level 6 daggers and belts are the most efficient way to level blacksmithing from the creation side. So, if we can get all that from the creation process, what can we get from manipulating extraction in the old double jeopardy where scores can really change? Well, as you can see on your screen, I have a level 1 dagger and a level 6 dagger. At present, my current blacksmithing skill is 25 points into level 2. So I'm going to extract the level 1 dagger, and what do we see? My blacksmithing skill has only went from 25 to 38. That's really not worth it, but that was level 1. So let's extract a level 6 dagger and see what happens. Again, my blacksmithing skill only went from 38 to 74. It's just not worth it. I understand I'm recuperating the materials, but ask yourself this question. If you are an ESO dev and you just awarded a bunch of points for someone creating an item, would you then give them those points again for destroying it? Well, if you're an ESO dev, the answer is no. What to do, what to do? Well, on a hunch, let's make a level 6 dagger and ship it off to a noob alt. Here is the bank deposit and the withdrawal by Johnny Noob. Now Johnny Noob is then going to teleport to a blacksmithing station. Hey, we don't need no stinking pop-ups. We've got this kick-ass YouTube video to watch. Go away. Now, I want you to take note at the center of your screen. This is the same dagger I just made. In the top left of your screen, you will notice he has 0 blacksmithing points. He is an utter and total noob. So, let's begin the extraction process, and bam! 272 experience or inspiration points, if you will, for extracting a level 6 iron dagger. If you recall, when extracted by the person who created the iron dagger, he received a mere 36 points. So extracting an item that character did not create yields a roughly 8-fold bonus. Please note that these characters were on the same account, so it is character specific, not account specific. This bonus also applies to world drops, quest rewards, items you buy from other players, and although I have not independently verified this, I suspect vendor items as well. Now, if G.I. Joe cartoons taught me anything as a child, knowledge is power and knowing is half the battle. So how do we manipulate this knowledge to our benefit? The best option is probably a guild buddy system, something along the lines of you make 10 level 6 iron daggers, he makes 10, and you ship them back and forth and just continue to scale the process up. Remember that the research process is purposefully bottlenecked, so the best guilds are going to want multiple crafters in the same field. The next option would be to do something similar to what you just saw, and that would be to use an alt. Power leveling in alts blacksmithing is easy because they can extract items well beyond their current blacksmithing level. Those high level items have extraction rewards that are scaled up and designed to advance the blacksmithing of higher level players, so the yield can be amazing for low level ones. Not really going to spend a lot of time on the individual perks. I really just want to hammer home some conceptual ideas. Metallurgy unlocks the capability to create ingots of the various ore types throughout the game, thus allowing you to make progressively better weapons and armor. Keen Eye adds a glimmering effect to ore veins throughout Tamriel. If you've ever played Skyrim with the glowing ore veins mod, you know how helpful this could be. I can't say that I would max this out early on, but I certainly would put in 1 point just to make sure my ore harvesting was as efficient as possible. Miner Hiring is a passive ability which mails you blacksmithing materials on a daily basis. Because those materials include both ore and improvement tempers, this is definitely worth your attention. Metal extraction makes the extraction process more efficient. Really your judgment call here. Metallurgy can reduce your research time up to a maximum of, I believe, 20%, as that is one of the game's biggest bottlenecks, definitely worth some of your skill points. And finally, Tempers Expertise, which makes the use of improvement tempers more efficient. Now, you're going to have to make up your own mind here, but I do believe some of these abilities, specifically Metallurgy, which reduces the amount of your research time, are worth taking as soon as they become available, even if that skill point could be used to unlock or improve a DPS ability. This may be hard for some people to believe, but nobody cares what your DPS is against a level 15 trash mob. Remember, Elder Scrolls Online dungeons take 4 people, and if you're the kind of person who measures his EPeen by his DPS on level 15 trash mobs, you probably don't have 3 friends anyway. Just, pro tip. Like I said, your decision. And that wraps up the advanced section of our blacksmithing tutorial. If you enjoyed the video or learned something new, a thumbs up would be greatly appreciated. Concerns, questions, you can just go ahead and leave a comment. I still try and reply to everybody, or shoot me a tweet at Dracobor. I hope you enjoyed the video. See you next week.